Welcome back to America Decides. While making his final pitch to voters in recent days, former President Trump has been escalating his violent rhetoric. The Republican presidential nominee said Sunday he wouldn't mind if someone tried to, quote, shoot through the fake news in an effort to assassinate him. Just days before, he attacked former Congresswoman Liz Cheney as a, quote, war hawk and suggested she should be sent into the line of fire. We're joined now by Bryan Lanza, who is a senior advisor for the Trump campaign. He's there in West Palm Beach, Florida, near Mar-a-Lago, where the former president will be watching returns tomorrow night. Bryan, you may recall Republican leaders in recent days slammed the vice president for, quote, escalating the threat environment, unquote, with her, quote, irresponsible rhetoric. I'm curious, these comments he's made in recent days, do they not do just that?
First of all, Ed, thank you for having me. Listen, Kamala Harris and her team have been very negative from the very beginning. They've been so negative in their rhetoric that President Trump had 2 assassination attempts. One, a bullet grazed his ear, and another when the Secret Service had to step in. So, yeah, he's concerned about violence, but primarily directed toward him. You know, at the end, the media likes to misinterpret some of the things that the campaign has said. They certainly misinterpreted his comments, what he said to Cheney and the firing squad. We saw that cleared up in the media several hours later. And, you know, the president, you know, what he said the other day was said in gist. At the end of the day, the things that are going to matter aren't these things that the media likes to highlight. It's going to matter the economy. It's going to matter the inflation. It's going to matter people's pocketbooks. So when they go into the polls, they're going to have to ask themselves the very basic question. Are you better off today than you were 4 years ago? And the vast majority of the country are going to say, no, they're not. In fact, working class voters, paycheck to paycheck voters are going to say, not only we're worse off, we're near bankruptcy. We've maxed out our credit cards under this this Biden-Harris administration, and we can only expect worse. And we're looking for change, and we've learned in the polling, we've learned in the last 90 days that the only change agent on this campaign is Donald Trump. And so we tell the voters, change is coming, and change is coming tomorrow.
Bryan, you say that what he said about reporters was said in jest. Let's play the clip and just let the viewers hear it and decide for themselves.
I have a piece of glass over here, and I don't have a piece of glass there. And I have this piece of glass here, but all we have really over here is the fake news, right? And to get me, somebody would have to shoot through the fake news, and I don't mind that so much.
So you think that's a joke?
Listen, I heard a lot of people laughing, but also you have to have
his
some levity.
Most devoted supporters who show up for his event laugh at it. Yes, Bryan. But come on, they're the ones that already banked away. You know you have to win. Undecided voters in states all across the country.
You had 1 bullet graze his ear, so he's allowed to have some moments of levity with respect to assassination attempts.
Why keep joking about this stuff?
Because you guys keep bringing it up. He says 80,000 other words at these rallies, and you guys. He says 80,000 other words at these rallies, and you guys want to focus on less than 10 words. Let me tell you what the American people are focused on. They're not focused on the media's feelings being hurt. They're not even focused on Donald Trump's assassination attempt. They're focused on their own pocketbooks. They're focused on the border being broken. And as President Trump has said from day one of this campaign, that this administration has led America astray. They've led to the deterioration of our great country. And change is coming, and change is coming tomorrow. Right. Regardless of what the media wants to highlight, regardless of what the campaigns want to highlight, we know what change looks like, and that change is Donald Trump.
Okay, one other thing he's done so far has filed lawsuits in Georgia and Pennsylvania related to the 2024 election procedures. Is he going to concede if he loses the 2024 election?
Listen, what he has always asked for, he's asked for a fair and free election. So yes,
and what is the definition of a fair and free election?
Has been successful. Let me finish. Some of those lawsuits has been successful. And you know this as well. In Pennsylvania, you had the county register of voters shut down, kick Republican voters out of line who were in line to wait. That feels like election interference by the administrative state. So yes, we had to go to law. We had to go to court. We won in court. We got a 3-day extension for early vote. Why did we get that 3-day extension, Ed? We got that 3-day extension because shenanigans were taking place in the county of Pennsylvania. So yes, President Trump wants a fair and free election. He's going to make sure that we litigate a fair and free election. And if the results are after a fair and free election that he hasn't won, then he's going to make that assessment. But you can't get ahead of the ball here. We're seeing voter registration fraud in Pennsylvania to the tune of 5,000 people have illegally registered to vote. Well, that's the first felony. We know what the next step is. They want to vote, and that's the next step. So when you're committing voter registration fraud, it's with the intent of committing election fraud. So we have to watch everything that's taking place. We have to defend a vote. We have to make sure that we all turn out. But we can't sort of put our heads in the sand and say that election fraud is not taking place. We have a best example of in Pennsylvania, where you had nearly 5,000 illegal people registered voters take place.
Now that you've said all that, let me ask my question again. What is the definition of a fair and free election?
A fair and free election is everybody allowed to vote and it count legally, and legal voters be allowed to vote. It certainly doesn't count with an illegal voter in Michigan voting, everybody acknowledging that that vote shouldn't take place because he's an illegal voter, and that vote being counted regardless. That doesn't feel like free and fair to me, Ed. Okay. And it shouldn't feel like fair and fair to you.
Bryan Lanza, a senior advisor to the Trump campaign down there in Florida for us. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you.